if it's kind of something that's a hashtag or it's something sound-biteable or meme-worthy, you can just spread it. It doesn't matter if it's true. It doesn't matter if it actually has any weight. But, you know, it's small, it's little. We can just judge it on that one thing. It's like a label that we can put on everything. And I just think it's a shame. I just think it's a real shame. Sam's Cup of Tea. Sam's Cup of Tea. Hello and welcome to Sam's Cup of Tea. Now, The Last of Us Part 2 is due out in 2 days. It's currently Wednesday evening in Korea, where I live, and I can't wait to play it. I'm really excited. Now, I want to make this video slightly about my excitement, why I'm excited for The Last of Us Part 2, but also I want to discuss why the reaction to the leaks was inherently toxic on YouTube, and it wasn't helpful for the community at all, and it changed my perspective on YouTube as a whole as well. Now, as a gaming fan, I follow many gaming YouTube channels, so obviously my YouTube my YouTube account itself shows videos that are suggested, and my suggested box last month during the time of the leaks was just so negative. From big YouTubers to smaller YouTubers. We had Angry Joe as well commenting on it, his thoughts. But overall, it really made me feel depressed. Firstly, because there were leaks that I saw. I saw a bit of the leaks and some of the stuff, which I won't discuss in this. I'm not going to discuss specifically any spoilers that I saw. But the leaks popped out, and the immediate reaction, the immediate signal I was getting on my YouTube suggested box was just negative stuff. And it seemed to be this knee-jerk reaction and fear and anger at the fact that, identity politics and SJW culture had sort of infiltrated its way into one of the best games franchise ever, Last of Us, and that it was ruined the game and all this lot, and Neil Druckmann, the creator, was now called Neil Cookman and all this lot, and it just left a really bad taste in my mouth. Firstly, because I thought, hang on a minute, we haven't even played this game yet. You know, we've barely seen anything of this game. And, if we were to take one moment out of The Last of Us or any other Naughty Dog game out of context, it would not do it justice. And, a lot of these people are well respected. They consider themselves to be intelligent, well-rounded people, and also a champion of creative work and things like that. And it just seemed to be a huge slap in the face to all the developers that had worked on it and all the art team. And, I've got nothing wrong with having a strong reaction to the game after it's been released, but this reaction over a month before it was released was just crazy. And there's memes all over the place. Like I was on following a Reddit thread for Last of Us Part 2, and that has just completely been taken over by all these ridiculous memes. And in doing that, they've almost made themselves look really pathetic and petty, because we don't know what the game is going to be like yet. And lo and behold, this week, the reviews came out, reviews from all different media outlets, and they are overwhelmingly positive. Now, that's not to say that the game is amazing and you should love it. It's not about that. The point is that undoubtedly, critically, this game has been received just as well, if not better, than the first game, hinting at the fact that maybe this experience is a little bit more than just a soundbite. And it just reveals the negativity on YouTube. Now, I got into YouTube following other channels that loved games, right? Criticizing games, loving games, but basically it's all built on a love and appreciation for video games. We all have a passion for it, and we want to see them succeed. And when they don't, we want to make it comical. For example, Angry Joe criticizes video games, but he makes it funny, as do other channels. And other channels show their love for games. They do, video essays. I've done a video essay on Metal Gear Solid 3, for example, and other games that I really love. And it comes from love. All of it should come from love. But I feel that there has been a switch in the past couple of years where there's been a lot of negativity. First it was Star Wars and its other franchise, but there seems to be this negative culture which wants to feed off the back of failure or something that they deem to be not quite right. And I just feel like, at the end of the day, we're all just YouTubers. We make videos, but we're not creatives like the people that make them. There just seems to be this kind of reveling in something that they can put a label on. Now, the whole idea is that we're against labels and things should be organically weaved in. Now, Neil Druckmann has been very vocal about his intention to increase the amount of representation of LGBT people in video games, and I just don't think that Naughty Dog has done that in a negative way. I think they've completely justified it, and I think that if any developer, any video game has earned the right to have the benefit of the doubt, it is Naughty Dog. It is The Last of Us, right? The Last of Us is an incredible game. The last game that we got from Naughty Dog, Uncharted 4, obviously we got Lost Legacy as well, but Uncharted 4 was incredible. So this idea that there's been this sudden switch and there's all this stuff about, Amy Hennig left and stuff like that. Let's just wait. Like, the main reason that I enjoy watching YouTube videos about video games is because I've got a passion for them. And that passion comes from when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I didn't rub my hands together and look at the hope for the demise of a new game. I got excited, right? When Metal Gear Solid 2 was coming out, I love Metal Gear Solid 1. I couldn't wait, right? And so YouTube should be a supplement for that. I should be going on YouTube to find videos about new things and what do they think it's going to be about and stuff like that. And The Last of Us, it was just all this negative stuff and this kind of cynicism that's set in. And I understand why you might feel cynical about certain games. Certain video games have brought out the cynical side of the gaming fan community, the YouTube community, through things like, EA's practices and unfinished games and microtransactions and things like that. But when it comes to a developer like Naughty Dog, who, every single game they've released has been top of the line quality, I just think it's like there is no game that is free from that, and it just felt very toxic. It felt very toxic, and the thing that they say they don't mind representation, but they don't want it to be forced in. Well, you don't know if it's been forced in yet, do we? These people that are outraged at the story and the characters don't realize that they're undermining the very creators of that thing, right? Allow the creators to make it and put it out there and then judge it, right? You don't have to like it. If you want, you can decide that The Last of Us stopped at The Last of Us 1 and that was it. The story didn't continue, right? There's loads of franchises that are like that. I love Highlander, for example, but Highlander 2 and anything after that is hideous, right? But I'm not, trying to bash on the director, even though it's the same director who directed the Highlander 1 and 2, but just in context, we don't know what this game's going to be like. And now looking at the reviews, I can see that it's a ambitious, challenging game that doesn't just reiterate the things in the first one. And that's what we want, isn't it? We want sequels that push the boundaries, that take risk. And guess what? When you take creative risks, sometimes you'll fail. Sometimes certain people won't like it. And it's like, you know what? Fuck those people. You know what I mean? And if it's me, guess what? Never mind. Does the developer really care? No. And I just had to get that rant out of the way because I've seen it over and over again about The Last of Us 2 and all these memes of people who think that they're really clever and they're lumping that into other franchises that have been ruined by identity politics being shoehorned in. The YouTubers that are claiming to I'm not playing the game now because of that little thing, the things that they love, you could take anything that they love and pull it out of context and it still wouldn't make any sense. Now, this is the cardinal rule, and the thing that depresses me the most is that the YouTube channels that are kind of centered around gaming were made out of a love for gaming and creativity. And they themselves should know better that, things getting taken out of context, a soundbite, a screenshot, is not irrespective of a whole creative product, right? And that surely these things have to be experienced within a context. And it seems like YouTube has fallen down the same rabbit hole as all social media now on the internet, which is just that if it's kind of something that's a hashtag or it's something soundbiteable or meme worthy, you can just spread it. It doesn't matter if it's true. It doesn't matter if it actually has any weight, but it's small, it's little. We can just judge it on that one thing. It's like a label that we can put on everything. And I just think it's a shame. I just think it's a real shame. But despite that, I really am looking forward to The Last of Us. before all of this crazy controversy of The Last of Us Part 2, I never really looked at any Naughty Dog games in the light of that identity politics. It just didn't even cross my mind. You know, the fact that there's strong female characters in The Last of Us never seemed to waver in the authenticity of the game at all. Like, I never even questioned it. And all of a sudden I was seeing these things of like, yeah, we saw the first signs of that with a, you know, with if you noticed, all of the evil guys were white men, and the you know, I never noticed that before. Never even noticed it. And and Last of Us is one of my favorite games I've ever played. Fantastically made, clearly made with love and understanding and wanting to tell a genuine story. So if they want to put in, you know, strong female characters, fucking hell, let them. You know, if I've got a problem with that, what's wrong with me? Do you know what I mean? But anyway, despite all that, I'm really, really looking forward to The Last of Us, and I can't wait for part 2. I really can't. Recently, I replayed The Last of Us, and I completed it on grounded mode, which was absolutely great.
Completed on grounded, Trophian! No matter what, survivor.
Which was absolutely great. It really, really showed that there were frustrating parts, but, you know, usually I find difficult games frustrating, right? And even though I was stuck on certain parts for a long period of time, it wasn't that frustrating. It was actually enjoyable, and it actually reframed the game in a new way, having to approach things almost like a puzzle. But it also showed me how, even though the game is like 7 years old, it was fantastic to play. It was really great, and it's aged really well. No doubt it will seem a lot more aged when I actually play Last of Us Part 2, but Last of Us was ahead of its curve, and for this current generation, even though it was on the last generation, PS3, it really stands up, and I just love it. So I'm really excited to see where Last of Us Part 2 takes me, and it's really exciting to see that the reviews are saying that the story goes in directions that you're not expecting, and it challenges you. I want a dark story. I want to be challenged. I can't bloody wait. I loved the gameplay for Last of Us 1, so if they've expanded on that, fantastic. And I loved everything about Last of Us 1, so I'm up for it. So here's to Last of Us Part 2. I'm going to play it fully all the way through, take my time, and then I'll be doing a review of the game. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more content. Sam's Cup of Tea, signing off. Sam's Cup of Tea.